Well, hello. So, the very long awaited, promised Two of Spades video. So, I have been thinking about this and mulling it over, and actually had a really great conversation with my husband about my daughter's boyfriend, who is the Two of Spades. Our neighbor is the Two of Spades. I was giving a reading, and that's when I had this massive download because I was tuned in to this client's guides. Hey, our Two of Spades is here. I'm so glad you are. I was hoping that you would tune in and be available. So I will covet your feedback very much because shooting in the dark to some degree. So I'm listing the like 5 Two of Spades that have been in my life. One is a really dear friend that now lives in Florida, but and one is my sister's former partner whose face randomly popped into my dream last night. It was so strange. So anyway, I feel like this is really propitious. I'm just kind of in the flow. Oh, good. Okay, that's so perfect. Hi, Tanisha. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so while I was giving this download, or what? Yeah, I was getting a download about this client's this man in her life. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so it is so good to see you and thank you. Um, so some of the things I'm going to say are going to sound kind of strange, going against the grain of our culture and our fear of the caretaking program. So I'm just going to dive right in. Okay, this is the sort of radical thing that I'll just put out there first. The Two of Spades is here to constellate themselves around someone or something else and to make it beautiful, make it great, love it, nurture it. And this is not caretaking. This is not a loss of self. This is the fulfillment of themselves. So, like, I was sitting and thinking about this and going, well, so they have to have the I'm all alone lesson, don't they? So David Wilcock is the perfect example, Two of Spades. Pretty sure, yeah, he's the Two of Spades. He's been going through a massive period of isolation over the last year, and he's an author, a speaker, very, very intensely involved in his work and what he does and so forth. Yeah. And he's gone through this period of isolation. So I would love to interview him and be like, okay, dude, what did you need to learn? Okay, I still think they need to constellate around something. So here's what I got about this guy, this Two of Spades that I've never met. In fact, I've been reading him because he's been in her orbit sort of for about the last year and not really in her life yet. And then all of a sudden, not only does he come into her life with a bang, but he has a different birthday than what he told her originally. So I was just like let in. His guides let me in to really look at him. And her big concern was, is he going to fit into my life? Because I've got, places to go and things to, people to meet. And the download I got was that will be his fulfillment, is to do that for you and with you. Okay, so Crystal's boyfriend was here making bread one day. They were on a visit, and his business is making these bialys, a sourdough bread recipe with really special ingredients. And he since has gotten like not a food truck, but he does shows and this kind of thing. And people absolutely freaking love his bread and his bakery products. And he's becoming really, really successful with it. So he was showing Stuart, who loves to make bread, how to do this. And so Stuart and I are just sitting, having a wonderful beer one evening, and he goes, so what is Adam's relationship to the dough? And I was like, hold on, I have to record this because I knew I was about to get a download about the Two of Spades. And I actually sent it to my daughter. It's like, I hope this doesn't overstep bounds, but this is our take on Adam. And I said, he needs to Oh, there was another word there and I've forgotten it. I've used the word constellate instead. He needs to constellate himself around something and give his gifts, give the love that he is, give the nurture that he has to give. The first experience I had with a two of spades, she was hired on to this, it was called Dreamcatcher, and it was used the direct instruction approach with anyone that had a learning challenge. Very general, very open. And this method developed in the 60s was like 98% effective. So, of course, it got ignored and left behind. And Head Start was adopted instead because it was only 50% effective, probably less than that. So, anyway, this is called direct instruction. And it's kind of goes along with the affirmation idea, and it rewires the brain of the learner to feel safe and loved. That's it in a nutshell. And that dovetails perfectly with the video I did on my other channel just now about the power of affirmations and rewiring the brain and the importance of basic trust and safety. So, anyway, God, I just go off on rabbit trails. I'll bring it back. Okay, the first one I met. So, I was working for this company and she gets hired. She's a two of spades and she can do literally anything. She's good at everything. And Iris, the boss, is trying to figure out where to plug her in because she has the potential to be and do anything. Now, this is true of the three of spades as well. They are the achiever. And when you think of the two of spades, that three of spades sits right next to them. So in the descending spread, that three of spades becomes, it is the Mercury card. It's the mindset. I can do anything. I can accomplish anything. And there can also be a need to prove, maybe. I don't know. But when it becomes the ascending moon card, it's the secret that you keep with yourself. I can accomplish anything. I don't need to trumpet this to the world or create a persona or convince anyone of anything. I just know that I can do anything. Oh, my dad is a three of spades. Oh, good. We have three of spades to refer to. So if your mom is a three or a four of spades, she has an intense relationship with the three of spades either way, right? Either she is that or, yeah, which also puts the two of spades in her hand as a Mercury or a Venus, or a moon. Anyway, so she ended up being like a life coach and a therapist to me just because I asked her. I was like, hey, could you do a mediation thing with me and my partner? She's like, sure. And she did a really good job. Now, her one Achilles heel that I saw, and this resonates with all of the two of spades I talked to, is that they don't know what their own gifts are sometimes. They are extremely good at spotting the gifts of everyone else, and they've got kind of this joker feeling to them. They can be anything, do anything, which is interesting because I thought if there is one card in the deck that has the most characteristics of the joker, it would be the ace of spades. Maybe it's the two of spades. Maybe it's, I don't know. But this flexibility, this versatility, I think it's a challenge for them to find themselves in this and to say, I know what I want and I know what I'm good at. Well, this woman who worked for this company, what she wanted was to be married more than anything. So she was gay. She found the perfect woman and moved to California. And she was very happy and fulfilled. And to me, that's like, oh my God, I get it now. She found someone to constellate around. Okay, so before I read your comments, I have to tell you this Star Trek episode. So if you watch Next Generation, there is a Star Trek episode where this really, really beautiful woman who eventually becomes a Bond woman. She becomes the Bond woman who is in Goldeneye, and she just loves to kill people. And she's called Anna Onatop. That's the actress. Okay. And she was in the original Star Trek, and when she would meet a man, she would say, "Jean-Luc, I am for you." And she was of a particular race that the first man that she made love to, she bonded with. She was morphic up until that point to do and become anything. So before she bonded and became permanent, she would just be in a guy's field and she would just morph to his expectations. So she turned into the perfect Klingon lover and she's like, starts snarling and Worf gets all turned on. Anyway, that's this Two of Spades. There's definitely a parallel there. And so maybe what's within their power is to choose what to constellate around. Just throwing it out there. She chose to constellate around Jean-Luc because she liked who she was when she was with him the most. And that was her free will act, so that the guy she was destined to be with, she just faked it for the rest of her life to be his perfect partner. But she had this self to hold on to. And I just think that's so symbolic to this card somehow. Okay. Always the Nine of Diamonds and Two of Spades. Okay, I will get to that. She's a 4, but that's crazy. We are both Spades cards. Okay, there was a typo there. My Bass, she's a 4. So correct that. My Bass, she's a 4, but that's crazy. We are both Spades cards. Yeah, right, which means that all of your, what do you call it? The court cards are the same. The Mother archetype, the Queen of Spades. The Father archetype, the King of Spades. And the Jack of Spades, the inner child or the creative. And they're all very unique. They have their unique issues. So you will share all of that and reflect off each other and projections and all that. Like, you're so controlling. Okay, the Nine of Spades and the Two of Spades. Okay, so I think we basically covered it. And Tanisha, I'm glad that you asked that because now, since today my affirmation is I go with the flow, I'm kind of in a yin space, just trusting whatever shows up instead of being really proactive. I will go with this. So let's look at the pure spread first. That's where all the cards are in order. So I'm going to pull these two out and we will look at Ascension, the Ascension hand, the Descension hand, and the pure spread. Let's begin with the pure spread. So you are Uranus to each other. And this is probably the most important spread for you to answer this question. So this is where they're all in order, the spiritual spread. Nine of Diamonds sits in the Saturn Neptune position, and the Two of Spades sits in Uranus. Okay, so there's a really profound teaching there too. Okay, before I get into that, the Uranus connection and the other connections you have, it's a really good friendship card. It's a very good calling to. The Uranus connection can call us to our ideals. It can play a role in the development of our Christ consciousness, but it can also be kind of like that whole unreliability thing, unpredictability. Like it's better if you don't expect anything from your Uranus card. But it's a nice friendship vibe, very easy, and they are the friendship card. And if your Uranus card descending is the friendship card, then that really gives you the capacity, Nine of Diamonds, to be a really good friend, which I've observed. They're really good at being a good friend. So what does it mean that the Two of Spades occupies Uranus? I have to cover this because I came up with this years ago. They represent the age of Aquarius. So just think about that. The brotherhood of man. Friendship. No more hierarchy. Everyone's on an equal playing field. Christ consciousness. Two of Spades, what I would say to you is that you are the embodiment of something very special, and it is where we're going. Okay, most people constellate themselves around someone else out of fear and a sense of emptiness, a sense of I'm missing something. And that's what my other video is all about, is I ask my guides to help me get over that addiction to that. That's why caretakers find narcissists and then like so that constellating around someone is an unhealthy thing. The Two of Spades, like just think if we can constellate around someone else out of love, out of unselfishness, because we're imitating Christ, laying down our lives for another. So you are a whisper of what is possible. And I'm not saying you're not without dysfunction, okay? But each card brings a whisper of the divine that says, wow, are they really? Are they really that sweet? Are they really that innocent? Like I bring this essential quality of innocence, naivete. I've been called naive, gullible, da 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 da. And this is one of the essential divine qualities I bring is, and it saved me so many times. Like when people said, like I was just reflecting on how somebody said something very mean and insensitive to me years ago, that had I not had this quality of innocence, it would have struck me to the absolute core and been a very corrosive thing in my soul for decades. And I suddenly realized, oh my God, that was a really fucked up thing she said to me. And I didn't get it because of my innocence. It protected me. So it's like, is she really that like pure and innocent? It's like, yes, this is the Two of Spades. Are they really that generous? Are they really that kind? Are they really that other oriented? Yes! Yes, they are. And that can be very difficult for their partners to receive, because that's a lot of generosity. That's a lot of kindness. That is a lot of goodness. And it's like, oh, wait, do I deserve this? Are you sure you want to give that all to me? Don't we have to be even Steven here? So I imagine that's an issue in your relationships. Tell me if that's true, Two of Spades. I would really like to know that. Okay, so getting back to Tanisha's question, the Nine of Diamonds and the Two of Spades. Your essential relationship is Uranian. This is also your secret genius. Your Uranus card is your genie in the bottle. There's a relationship to the genie and the genius. It's your natural generosity. Let's look at Two of Spades in the Ascension life spread. So if you've been following me, you know that. Here's the pure spread, and then here's the life spread, one click away. Well, what's this other Ascension thing? This is one click away in the other direction. Look, age 43. What happens when we turn 44? We go to this, right? So both of these are one click away. Birth year, first year, 43rd year, 44th year. So let's just imagine that it goes in the other direction. Okay, so how can we talk about the Two of Spades over here? So it sits in the King of Clubs position, the other karma card. So here it sits in Jupiter, Saturn. Oh my God! Okay, going back to the very beginning of this video, do you remember how I said they sit right next to the Three of Spades, which is Jupiter and Saturn together, yin and yang? I can achieve anything. They are the card that sits, okay, so we have two Jupiter-Saturn intersections, right? We've got Saturn, horizontal Saturn, vertical Jupiter. We also have horizontal Jupiter, vertical Saturn. So there are four potential cards that have that I can do anything sort of energy. It's the Three of Spades, the Six of Diamonds, Nine of Clubs, King of Clubs, Eight of Spades, Two of Spades. Okay, there's six cards. So anyway, that's another reason they can do anything. They're incredibly versatile. Okay, Queen Najwa 777. My mom is Two of Spades. I am Two of Diamonds. That's great when you're both twos, right? It's like, whoa, a lot of estrogen in the air, a lot of two in the air, a lot of relationship, it's really fun because the twos get each other's need to partner, to hang out together, to have somebody to do something with. It's so adorable to me because like I'm really comfortable doing stuff alone or with somebody, but when you find somebody who's like, I just really want somebody to do something with, they find each other and they're like, okay, you just turned 42. Oh, okay, so you're coming up on the 43. The 43 is a weird year. It tends to have three things in a row. So let's just look at this for a second. Have you noticed like three queens in a row? Queen, queen, queen. King, king, king. Let's see. There are other ones in here. But on your 43rd year, there's a lot of triplicate. A lot of people have that. And so it just, I don't know. I don't know what it means. It's just like it gives you an opportunity to work on that particular number a lot. Okay. 8-4 is the nine of diamonds. So you are the nine of diamonds and the nine of diamonds, which means the queen of diamonds has a very strong influence on you. So I am a Leo, 8-6, seven of diamonds. The queen of diamonds is like, she's like this other personality I have, like more influence than other people's personality cards. Like she's always really there. And I have super intense relationships with the queen of diamonds too, especially the women. It's just like, woo. Yes, and happy birthday to you, Tanisha. So 8-4 is the nine of diamonds and 8-9 is the four of diamonds. There are those little, each month has its little flip. Yeah. Happy belated birthday. Isn't it wonderful? Leos are just like, oh, I just love my birthday. I just love to be loved. I love to love myself. I love to be loved and worshipped. I mean, you have to get over some stuff to get there, right? But I do. I love that. I love that. And I have a really good friend whose birthday was yesterday, and we're always just like, oh, the birthday love juice. Um, birthday love juice. That sounds really weird. Okay, so yeah, your wife is 180-degree Leo, and my rising is Leo. Oh, okay, like opposing you. 180-degree Leo. Does that mean like there are 30 degrees in every sign? Does that mean she's 29 degrees? Because if she's 30 degrees, that means she's a Virgo. And your rising is Leo. Yeah, I know a three of diamonds whose rising is 29 degrees Leo. I heard the best astrological report on this famous three of diamonds. And if you know, you know, I don't have to tell you, but I really shouldn't say his name on this channel. But anyway, it was absolutely fascinating about the fullness of Leo, because that your ascendant is what other people see, and the 29th degree is the fulfillment, the completion, the full accomplishment of that sign. So it's all about heart. Oh, and your mom, another one. Oh, she's Aquarius. That's what you meant. Oh, okay. I get it. Yes. So, yeah, that can be wonderfully balancing and very challenging. Yeah, oppositional things are, I guess that's a good word, right? I am oppositional to myself in that I'm 27 degrees Virgo rising, almost 29, which means my chart is flipped upside down because the first house is supposed to be Aquarius and mine is Libra. It's all about relationship. My house of relationship, my seventh house, is all Aries. So it's like I've got that in my entire chart. So that it's been a hell of a lifetime. But I think I don't know. I'm up to it, right? You're dating a Libra. Oh, they're wonderful, aren't they? Libra rising. They're just like everything. Lord have mercy. Right? Um, Libras, they're Libra rising. My mom was Libra rising, and there was just always an emphasis on beauty and appropriateness. And oh, it's a lovely thing. It's a wonderful thing. I've partnered with two Libras in my life. I'm currently with one, and oh, he just gets the balance thing. Yeah. So, should we say anything else about the two of spades? No, it's just a free for all. You can just ask whatever you want to ask. So where does the Two of Spades, we didn't really answer this, where does it sit in the life spread? Oh, your Libra moon. That is so good when a rising and a moon. Yeah, the rising and the moon and the sun. When you share that with another person, it's just like you just really get each other. So the Libra moon really, that emotional. Oh, plus you're a 9. Okay, Tanisha, I'm just going to take a stab at this, but would one of your biggest lifelines to other people and other things in the world would be, don't disturb my tranquility, please. Stop disturbing my tranquility, okay? Like you'll do anything to preserve your tranquility. When my kids would be fighting with each other, which was very normal kid behavior, they're really good friends now. They turned out great. I thought it was like super fucked up. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done wrong? And it was so disruptive to my tranquility that I would go in my room, close the door, and meditate. I was like, I just can't handle this. Um, a lot of fire and air here. Yeah. Sag rising. So that's the fire. Yeah, and that relates to the Leo. I just love Sages. I mean, if it weren't for them, like we would have no adventures in our lives. We wouldn't do anything interesting. We wouldn't like travel into the unknown. And that's another 9 thing. So for some reason, Robert Camp likens the 9 of clubs to Sagittarius. I liken the 7 of diamonds to Aquarius. And it's like, you can't necessarily find it in the chart. You just kind of get a feel for that. So 9s definitely have a, let's go out there into the unknown. Why not? That's what we're here for. Because they're open at the top. They're comfortable with the unknown and the unquantifiable. They want a larger and larger context for everything. So that Sag must really add to your, like, let's go somewhere we've never been kind of thing. I must have some Sag in my asteroids or something. I don't know, because I have such a need for that. I just haven't been able to create it for myself yet. So I partnered with the Sag the very first time I got married. The very first time I got married. That sounds so cute. And on September 4th, I'm about to get married for the 3rd time, but my 4th serious partnership. It's like, God, you read about these people and you're like, oh my God, they're so fucked up. I'm like, oh, wait, that's me. Oh, isn't that interesting? You've traveled your whole life. Both my nephews are fire. My oldest nephew is Sag 1125, and my youngest is Leo 811. Oh, aren't the fires just so fun? 3rd time's a charm, right? Thank you. Well, we've been together 12 years now, which is twice as long as my other longest previous engagement. So we're pretty sure that we want to, pretty sure. Okay, so the 2 of Spades, let me get to this. Okay, so in what we call the life spread, which I call the descending, they sit in the intersection of Neptune and Mars. So everyone that's a 2 of Spades has really studied this because this is what we had. This was the new thing. Your Jupiter Saturn too. Think about that. Okay, but anyway, so the Mars Saturn, you know what the other Mars Saturn is the 8 of clubs. That was Julie. She was in my video on my other channel. I don't know if she's watching this one, but that's the other. Oh my God. So I hope she did follow this over here because there will be a lot of similar characteristics. So the 8 of clubs is horizontal Mars, vertical Neptune. But this is horizontal Neptune, vertical Mars. So the one name I would give to that is the visionary, like able to achieve the vision. Not just I have the vision, but I'm the implementer of the vision. And that's definitely what this gal was. God, what was her name? Madge. Madge Morningstar, the first two of spades I met, she, or really got to know, they are capable of putting hi, Julie, she is here, perfect. Okay, so this is true of eight of clubs too. My daughter has just been this stinker riding my bumper about this wedding. She's like, "Well, have you done this and have you done that?" And have and I finally said, "You're fired," because she's being all judgy about it. Mother-daughter stuff. So she's backed off, and I've gotten off the couch, and I've actually been able to, like, get shit done, which I would not have had it not been for that little interaction we had. But they are the implementers. Anything you suggest for any of the cards to look out for this year, not particularly just the two of spades. Oh, well, let me think about that. I like the universal questions. What are the universal energies for everyone this year? You can figure that out like for a country pretty easily, which we could do. Are we all Americans here? But as far as just generally for the year, I don't know. I've been wondering about that. But anyway, the implementer of the vision, two of spades, would you agree that if somebody says, "Hey, I want to create this golf course and like have this like high rise that has like I want a lot of hot tubs and I want it to kind of have this feeling of like if they just present you with this vision, do you see yourself as being able to implement it?" Eight of clubs and two of spades. I'm asking you that because of the Neptune Mars intersection. Neptune is what we imagine, so it can also be projections in that whole realm of the unconscious. And Mars can be anger, it can be aggression and passion. So, yes, I've seen their capacity to project something onto somebody with a lot of, aggression. Their unconscious realm is, there's a lot going on there. I mean, for everybody, but it's deep waters. Okay. Your daughter, four of clubs, six of diamonds. It gets interesting. Yeah, four of clubs and eight of clubs. Because she's right there. You're right there in between her cards. So you are her descending Mars, as well as descending Moon. You are also her ascending Mercury, and she is your ascending Mars. So when I say ascending, think of the highest and the best that she presents to the world that you would aspire to in your Mars, in your career, in your masculine side. That's what the four of clubs would represent. And I would sum that up by saying they have it all together mentally. It's all together. And eight of clubs have so much going on mentally that it's a challenge holding it all together. Sometimes they feel like they're riding that edge of insanity, and it is really fucking scary. Um, but the four of clubs is very defined. They've chosen the box that they sit in. So this is that work for the eight of clubs is about just like sorting everything through and just being like, oh, I just thought of something. Bronze Beauty. I'm an eight of clubs in my Uranus period. You have seven of spades there right now. I just recently sprained my back at work. I am so sorry. Great clue. Okay. Seven of spades is tough. It indicates an obstacle in the physical realm somehow, and the necessity of going vertical, going upwards. I had this seven of spades in my hand last year, and I had an injury every single month. So it sucked. but what was it trying to tell me? And my guides informed me pretty early on. So this helped. We're trying to get you to slow down. And now the slowing down was a profound thing. It was so much deeper. And I think that's why it happened over and over and over again, is because I wasn't getting it. I needed to just stop. That's my advice. Stop cold. Stop trying to please other people. Stop trying to figure out what the plan needs to be. Stop trying to figure out how you wish you were different. I mean, everything, everything. Just stop and just be in a place where you're allowing, become completely yin and just say, I allow, I accept that I feel this way right now, that this is going on. I just accept all these things that, I accept that I'm afraid. I accept the self-imposed limitations. I mean, anything, like, especially the things that are hard to accept, I would say just say, I accept these and just stop and then see what arises in that accepting flow where you've dropped all of the mind, the busy, the should, and just be with it. Like spraining your back is definitely a message that just like is like slow down, but it's also a question of what is supporting you. Who is supporting you? And I would say, are you supporting you? Because it's your back. And that's the primary message, is to allow the field to support you. It's not all up to you. And most native clubs, especially the women, are like, it's all up to me. If I don't do it, it won't happen. So they manifest situations where that's true. And then it gets affirmed and affirmed and affirmed. And I think the best thing that could have happened to my daughter is that I fired her from planning my wedding. It's like, guess what? You're just going to have to go with the flow. You're going to have to trust. You're going to have to let go. And that's hard for them because they're really competent. But, with that 10 of diamonds in their descending Jupiter, it's like, oh, I could do anything. But you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. So, yeah. And the other thing about a 7. Okay, so I'm just going to try to do a little close up. Okay, so you see, now turn it on its side. And you're going down this little path and there's an obstacle. Oh, you have to raise your vibration to get over it. And with a physical obstacle, that deep internal work of, okay, what needs to stop here? What needs to shift? That's what 7s are, is deal with attachment. And the attachment of the 7 of spades is, I am attached to how something must be done. So become okay with subpar, become okay with someone else's learning process, get okay with messy. That could be partly what's going on here. Really great question. Thank you, Bronze Beauty, for asking that question. Anybody else throw anything out there, I am totally available to answer your questions. So let me go back to Mr. Soul Knowledge. And I know your name starts with an E, and I'm like, what was it? What was it? It's not Eli. It's, anyway, Tanisha, you're sitting in the sun this year. What does that mean? You are so welcome, Brown Beauty. Raymond L. L. What does that mean exactly? You just typed exactly what I said. That is so trippy. I love that you said that. It's beautiful. I would say you should write that down on a Post-it note and put it in front of your mirror, because that might have been just a little channel bit from your higher self. I just changed my YouTube name. Oh, okay. Is this like a recent thing that just happened, or you're more soul knowledge instead of Raymond L, because you chose that? You're MSK now. Okay. And 42 is the answer to the universe. So 42. Okay, this is a good topic. And Raymond, I still want to get back to your topic. Okay. So your 2 of clubs this year, meaning you're sitting in, okay, where's the pure spread? Where did you go? The 2 of clubs sits in Mars and Mercury. The plan. Let's think about what we're going to do. This would be a really good year to think, not do, to think about what you're going to do. Give yourself a whole year if you're displacing the Two of Clubs. Also look at communication, especially how you're communicating with yourself, and make one of your affirmations. I am always kind to myself in thought, word, and deed. Do that. I made that an affirmation and said it 7 times a day for 7 days, and I had not one single negative thought about myself that entire time. Does that meal sense? Don't you just love typos? Oh, there was a thread. I was onto something. I forgot it. Okay, when there are major astrological events, yeah, I bet that'll be really up for you this year. And it's kind of a crazy maker, isn't it? Because you have that in your hand anyway, right? It's your descending Mercury or descending Venus, which is your relationship with yourself too and your friends. It's like you're probably really good at lifting them up, and then are you that nice to yourself? Yeah. Let's look at Two of Clubs in the other spread. Okay, your other hand. So 9 of Diamonds in this other hand sits in the 5 of Diamonds position. Saturn, Mars. So yeah, contemplate that intersection, Saturn and Mars, in the 43rd year. Do you have Two of Clubs in your hand? No, it's far, far away. Oh, you have it, Mercury, Venus, Mars. It's a vertical Mars diagonal connection. Could we call that ascending, parallel life? I don't know. But I would say that it would be aspiring to clear communication with yourself and others. Yeah, this is a year to really think about efficient and accurate and leanness of communication. Someone used that word at Naropa once, make it lean. It's like, yep, cut the fat out, get to the point, which I'm not very good at. Okay, when there is a big astrological event and there is a planet that's really like up, it's really doing things. Like for America, we know that there is a conjunction or whatever you want to call it with Pluto and Uranus. We're having a Pluto return, if I'm not mistaken. Any astrological readings on the United States right now are very, very pertinent because the revolutions that we've had always came when Pluto and Uranus were doing what they're doing right now. And I think this goes through 2024. Yes, Pluto and Uranus in our own hands will be activated. So, what I would say to everyone that applies to everyone, especially Americans or anyone that loves America, and I do think we're here to influence the world in some way. We've been really falling down in that respect, I have to say. Nonetheless, I believe in Americans. I believe, like, I came to this the other day. I was like, I really believe in our spirits. Okay, find this on YouTube. There's a channel called Inspired. John Nolan, very sweet, handsome, positive guy that I don't always agree with. He had this astrologer come on, and it's only like a 2-minute video, and then you have to click on the Rumble link underneath it. But there's this really beautiful man who does this astrology, and it's got a very dire kind of title in it. But it's an astrological reading for the United States and other things. I just found it wonderfully uplifting and insightful. But it made me realize that I believe in Americans. I believe in the, like, okay, just picture this. The Americans go to the Olympics, like say back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. What are they known for? Everyone kind of has a sense of what to expect when the Americans show up. And it used to be something like this. Okay, think of the Jack of Diamonds in your life. Oh, things are going to get a little mischievous, fun, funny, lighthearted, clever, passionate, committed, a sense of excellence, the unexpected, creativity. This is the American spirit, and I believe in it. I do. I believe in it. I get excited about the fact that all of us that are Americans just kind of, we have that. That's a good thing, right? So, um, with this intersection, with this Pluto Uranus thing, look at those cards in your hand, and I would, okay, for the United States, let's look at Pluto and Uranus. Alex, what is the Four of Spades? It is the descending Uranus card for the Jack of Diamonds. Alex, what is the Five of Diamonds? It is the ascending Uranus card for the Jack of Diamonds. So we're having an interplay in this country, I would say, between, and I'm looking at the pure spread, by the way, between figuring out what it is we really value. What do we really, really want? What's the most important thing? Ooh, that's a key, especially after all the division we've had. What is, if you get a bunch of us in a room together and there's a big cross section of, all these different backgrounds and priorities and, groupings, what can we all agree on? So we'll be coming to that through this conjunction work. And the descending Four of Spades is security. What really makes us feel safe? What really is home for us? What makes us feel home? How do we cherish this place as our home? Maybe looking at our roots. Just some things to consider. Okay, Alex, what is the Three of Diamonds? It is our ascending Pluto for the Jack of Diamonds. The United States Jack of Diamonds ascending Pluto card in the pure spread is the Three of Diamonds. Who is the Three of Diamonds, Alex? I'm not going to answer that. But he's played a very prominent role in defining this country, causing this country to define itself. So that Pluto is like this life or death energy. That's very interesting, isn't it? And by in of itself, the Three of Diamonds is versatility of values, flexibility. Let's put all our cards on the table. That's right, Tanisha. Okay, what is our descending Pluto? The Six of Spades. Oh, your mom's the Three of Diamonds? The Three of Diamonds. Let me just say this one thing. This was when I was voting for Bernie Sanders, and I wrote this little paper about how Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are the same card. They're the Three of Diamonds. One of the things they have in common is this Ace of Spades. And it was because of them that I was able to name the card the Idealist. They have an ideal that they have. They may not share it. The Ace of Spades is secret, but it's something that they're going for. So anyway, that's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so the descending Pluto for the United States in the pure spread is the Six of Spades. It's a sense of karma. You were married to a Three of Diamonds. This is crazy. Corey Good was. I say was because whoever he is now is not the same dude. I actually met him and we have this whole past life thing. He's the Three of Diamonds. Was. So the Six of Spades, karma, descending Pluto, is what I'm hearing is we owe the world something. Maybe it goes back to Atlantis or something like that. And like, another thing that's coming through really strongly is, can we get it right this time? We have so many really great ideals and things worth fighting for. I mean, you just read the Declaration of Independence. Oh, get this. So there's this whole history that has been left out of our schools about the United States that I heard in this little country church a couple of weeks ago. And it's a YouTube talk. The preacher was missing that day, so they just did this YouTube talk. And I'll try to post a link to it, but it was about the history of the reverends and the purists, the pietists, the Puritans, what all these different groups were, what they really were, why they came here, and the influence that they had on the formation of all these different populations, very early populations between the 1600s and like 1776 era. What grew up during that time? And there was this thing called the Articles of something, and it was the reverends created the body politic for the little community, and it was based on these Puritan values, which is non-hierarchical. There was no, like, their pastor wasn't this hierarchical figure. It, like the Quakers, you go sit in a Quaker meeting. That I've gone to the Quaker church here. The service consists of sitting in silence until somebody feels moved to say something, and this goes on for 45 minutes. There's no hierarchy. So how do you turn that into a government? And then the Constitution was based on this Articles of something or other that this guy wrote. Isn't that fascinating? So, devil's in the hierarchy. Thank you, Tanisha. Yeah, the USA has amassed some crazy mad bad karma. And you know, I think it's important to say, okay, so one thing that I really admired about when I thought I knew who Barack Obama was that there was this Buddhist concept that happened. He took the football of blame out of circulation. Like, this is broken. I'm not going to say it's not my fault. I'm just going to say, we're going to fix this. I'm going to fix this. Okay, he's not who we think we were. That was like a whole program thing. But, and how do we even know he's the Nine of Diamonds, right? And his husband, the Ten of Diamonds. How do we really know that? We don't know anything. Anyway, I'm so sorry because I do not mean to politicize this channel. I am really sorry. I apologize to anyone that might have offended, because the thing about Barack Obama is that there was this tremendous wave of hope and inspiration that came over the country, which was good. There's a long-term benefit there, right? No matter what's true. So anyway, taking the football of blame out of circulation, in that sense, we have to say, how can we take ownership of the problem and help fix it without saying, this isn't my fault, even though I'm not the CIA and I didn't run drugs, okay? And I'm not a pedophile, but there is a culture of pedophilia in Washington, culture of blackmail. Oh, gosh, I really shouldn't go there. But yeah, we've amassed some bad karma. And how can we come from a place of love and heal that? Okay, there's this other big thing. There's this conundrum between, no, I'll have to do that on my other channel, because I've been trying to resolve my spiritual essence and the goodness that I know that everything is made of. Everything is fundamentally good. And then there's this whole awakening where we've become aware of some of the darkest shit imaginable. And we know that it's darker than we can imagine. So it's better to not try to imagine it. But the shit that's really been going on, it's like, okay, now that we know, we have to do something about it. And I think we're beginning to move into a place of, how do I operate out of my goodness? Maybe I can't answer the cosmic questions about the level and degree of evil that has gone on and how that fits into the great cosmic Godhead. You know, it's the problem of evil. How do you resolve that? I don't know. But I do think that we will very soon be moving into a place like, with the Sound of Freedom coming out, with, whatever controversy is around it. It's like, okay, that's been happening. Now that we know, we're responsible to do something about it. So I think that's probably the Six of Spades Pluto, is how do we accept a kind of corporate responsibility as Americans to say, okay, this happened on my watch. I have never thought these thoughts before. Thank you for co-creating them with me. I'm just the voice for this collective right now. I mean, like, if you vehemently disagree with that, let me know. But that's kind of what I'm pulling out of our collective energy right now. So one more thing I want to look at, because we're very well acquainted with the Jack of Diamonds sitting here in the Uranus-Neptune intersection. So Uranus is technology, among other things, and Neptune is the dream. And I always would associate that with Hollywood, our ability to, use technology to create the dream, but it's also technology to create a lot of fake shit, a lot of projections, a lot of masked characters and clones and CGI, and we don't know it's real anymore. Ah! It's gotten a little out of control, right? So So what are the higher virtues of this Uranus and Neptune? Uranus is Christ consciousness and doing it a different way than it's ever been done before. There's a genius, there's a creative genius. The 3 of Spades lives here. The 3 of Spades is under this in the pure spread. Anything is possible. I think that's why the 3 of Spades accomplishes a lot and they seem to have their shit together, is because they live in this house where anything is possible. And it potentially has a Christ consciousness about it. We can achieve the dream, we can achieve the ideal. Okay, so what are it's ascending Pluto card. What is it this year? That would be really relevant, wouldn't it? And we've already been going for an hour. But I did contact Robert Camp at one point and I said, is it correct to figure that the United States would be this old and is looking at this spread? Okay, we just had a birthday as a country. I'm going to go get the book where I have that. Okay, so the United States this year, you can tell me what you think if you track this kind of thing. Okay, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 is age 66, 23, 2023 is age 67. So our very first card out of the box this year, let me write this and make sure, 17. Okay. No, I had that wrong. Okay. The transitional year from 2017 to 2018 was the 61st year. 18, 19, 20. Yeah, I was really looking at this during the COVID period and everything made sense. What was the... Shoot, okay. 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23. This is the, okay, we just completed the 66th year. Our long range card was the 9 of diamonds. That's why gas prices are so high. Our environment card was the 9 of spades. So there was a lot of death of something. But the displacement, more difficult card, is the King of clubs, which means there was a coming to clarity about our own beliefs and convictions. Okay. 7 of hearts was Pluto. Result was 3 of clubs. So we went through a lot of heartache and disappointment, ending up with a more creative mindset. 3 of clubs. That definitely is true for me. Like, I went through like heartbreak and I finally decided I had to walk away completely from the news, from everything. I had to just say, this is too painful for me. It's killing me. I can't do it. And I think that the soldier just needed to walk away from the battlefield for a while. We'll see what happens. I'm still kind of taking a break. Now, this new year is age 67 of the Jack of Diamonds. We have the 4 of Spades right now, which is, it was our descending Uranus card. Wow. So there's really a nexus around thinking about our security. Okay, so this is the larger question, thinking about the security, our security as a nation. I don't feel very secure as a nation right now. I feel like if the white hats aren't in control, it's bad. It's really bad right now. But I don't know. And the Queen of Spades is there too. So that energy of taking responsibility. I will take responsibility to improve my community, to make my community feel safe. Maybe that's a takeaway that we as individual Americans can look at. What is our long range as a country this year? I should do a whole video on this. I will. This is good material. The Queen of Hearts is our long range card. So if you're reading along in the Destiny Cards book, just go to Jack of Diamonds and look at age 67. The Queen of Hearts long range. Ooh, she's all about illusion, right? But she's also the healing mother. Neptune, Neptune. That's the descending. What's the ascending of the Queen of Hearts? The ascending position in the pure spread, it's Saturn Venus, which is the work of relationship. Yeah, Mother Earth. And she lives in Venus, horizontal Venus. No, I'm looking at the pure spread. There was an ADD moment. So she lives in Venus and Saturn. So the purpose of love would be another way, the divine purpose of love. Queen of Spades, liberated ending. I think you're liberated. Is that another way of saying ascending? Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn. It's the liberated ending. Okay, the name you're giving that is I've been unable to name that next card. So if you go through the entire hand to Pluto, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, like we've got names such as Cosmic Moon and Transform Self, but I just call it Jupiter plus Saturn plus Jupiter plus Saturn plus. And then the next card, that's the Queen of Hearts, Queen of Spades relationship. I think that's what you mean by liberated ending. How it's written like a cycle. Oh, like you cycle through your hand and then you start the next cycle, so to speak. Okay. That's exactly what I thought when I was looking at that, because for me, Jupiter, Saturn, that would be the 6 of diamonds. And I've always said I want to be my sister-in-law in the next lifetime, and she's the 6 of diamonds. She has so much fun. Anyway, so we're going to be looking this year at the purpose of our relationships. Healing. I think healing relationships. And there have been, some pretty ugly divisions in pretty much every family. Politically, COVID, the vaccine, just all of it. I mean, there's never been such a powerful bifurcation, a separation of what's real. The answer to that question, what's real, what's really happening. And I have experienced some profound healings in my family in that regard. Just amazing healing. So my brother literally was screaming in my face for 20 minutes. It would have been traumatic if I didn't have there was some kind of spiritual intervention happening, but he was in an altered state. He was in the TDS range, and I said maybe 3 very brief sentences over the course of 20 minutes while he screamed in my face, pointed at me and said, "You are evil." Yeah, that happened, and we were really close, and it was like kind of weird for a couple of years, and it's completely healed, and he is going to perform the wedding ceremony when Stuart and I get married on the 4th. And yes, I did pick that day. I make it a rule never to pick an important day based on the cards, but I was like, I know too much. I have to do this. So I picked the 7 of diamonds so as not to add too many influences, because we have enough already, right? Anyway, because I'm the 7 of diamonds, and yeah, so we're adding the Virgo element, but I'm Virgo rising, so yeah, that's how I picked that day. Um, So where is the Queen of Hearts, this United States long range card, in the descending hand? She sits in, well, think of nine of clubs, six of diamonds. Just take the circle the other direction. So she sits in Jupiter, Mercury in the 43rd year. So that would be thinking about what's possible. Thinking about what's possible. That's really good. Thinking about the positive potential. I have to really think about that. I mean, that is really worth thinking about this year for this country. That is like a mental discipline that instead of going into some sort of negative about this country, let's think about the positive potential. What could happen that would be really great for this country? That is awesome. That is a really awesome note to end on. And oh, I love that. I love that. The view count went down to 3 and then it went back up to 5. And I never know whether to believe that because I have an iffy internet connection. So, anyway, let's think about the really great things that could happen because that's the ascending position of the Queen of Hearts, which is the long range card for us this year, Jupiter Mercury. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole other reading on this. Government telling the truth would be great. Yeah, right? So, on that note, this is just a totally random ADD aside, but my son sent me this TikTok video this morning. He gets his hands on these little tidbits. I'm not in the TikTok world anymore. But the video was this guy showing the JFK assassination, and there was this one woman who was standing there amidst the fray, surrounded by 4 men with her legs kind of parted and her 60s long, coat on with a camera. And she was filming the whole thing. And there's one shot of her, like you see Jackie and just before it happened, and they're smiling, Jackie and Jack. And then just beyond is this crowd, and there she is standing there with this shit-eating grin. And turns out it's the Rothschild. Have you ever heard this story? And I just thought, okay, this is the year of disclosure. This is the year of revealing. So that's one little tidbit that's like, cool. Oh, thank you, Julie. That is so sweet of you. I have enjoyed this so very much. If anybody has any parting comments, please make them now. And I will do a reading on the United States next. Okay, when do we switch into, I'm going to look at July 4th and see when we switch into Venus. 8/25, my parents' anniversary. So on August 25th, we will have the 5 of spades and the 7 of clubs, which means swift change. Some really big change. We also have 3 of spades, ace of spades, king of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, king of spades. Funny how so many of your cards came up in there, huh? So, yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Bye.